My daughter, when she was 6, asked me, what's the most fun you ever had in show business? And I said to her, I did a sketch with a guy named Chris Farley once at Second City, and every night that I did that sketch, every single time I did it was the most fun I ever had in show business. Hey GQ, I'm Bob Odenkirk, and today I'm going undercover on the internet. It's actually me. It's me, for real. TikTok asks me, even though his name is different, he will always be Saul Goodman all the way. I believe a part of Bob wanted to be like Saul in the real life. I don't want to be like Saul, no. I want him to be like me. The good part of Saul is he does have a conscience. He does love people. He's almost been given a gift that he doesn't quite know what to do with. This gift for invention and story. He's a little like Tom Sawyer in that way, if you've ever read that book. Tom Sawyer has little plots and plans that he comes up with, and they tend to be more elaborate than they need to be. And that's Saul. He gets carried away to the point where he doesn't see the blind spot in his plan. Reddit, are there certain parts of Breaking Bad you would play differently now that you know more about Jimmy's background? Yes. There's one line. It's one of the first episodes, maybe the first episode with Saul, and Francesca, his assistant, is walking away, and he goes, God, you are killing me with that booty. That doesn't track for me with Saul as we know him. He's known Francesca for years at that point, and she is not his friend. She does not love him. I think I play it with a little more meanness, because really, she's a tough woman who looks him in the eye and says, you're full of shit. And some part of him really respects that. Mr. Odenkirk, between Scott Aukerman and Paul F. Tompkins, who was the worst employee on Mr. Show, and why? Okay, so both these guys, Scott Aukerman from Comedy Bang Bang and many other projects, and Paul F. Tompkins from Varietopia, they were both writers on Mr. Show. Even though they both contributed wonderful, funny things, I'm going to give Paul F. Tompkins the worser employee on Mr. Show. Paul had a more critical, I think, attitude about the whole effort of writing the show. I think he would proudly wear the mantle, although he wasn't by any means the worst employee at Mr. Show. Dat Boys on Reddit Boy. What is your favorite moment you've had on the set of Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul were my first and in some ways hardest experiences with acting, where the harder the scene is to do, the more rewarding it is to do. The fight with Kim in the final season of Better Call Saul, where she says, I'm leaving you. And there's an argument that we have. We go into the kitchen, we go into the bedroom, is really like one of the greatest things I've been given the chance to do. What do you say to your fans who have crushes on you? You're nuts. You're nuts. Thanks, though. Somebody writes, I need to know what line Bob is most proud of in this. Oh, a van down by the river. So I wrote the motivational speaker sketch for Chris Farley when we were at Second City together. In the course of rehearsal, I got to know Chris, and one night I went home and I wrote that sketch, the way it's done. I've written hundreds of sketches, maybe a couple thousand, maybe. That's one of the few that is, in its final form, pretty much exactly what I wrote in my apartment alone one night in Chicago, which is cool and weird and rare. So my favorite line, is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
I can't see real good. Is that Bill Shakespeare over there?
Just kills me. I mean, I'm a Midwestern guy, and I'm always going to call William Shakespeare Bill Shakespeare. We did the sketch at Second City first, and I was in the cast, and I played the dad, the part that Phil Hartman played on SNL. Chris would not leave that stage until he made every other performer laugh every single time he did the sketch. My daughter, when she was 6, asked me, what's the most fun you ever had in show business? I said to her, I did a sketch with a guy named Chris Farley once at Second City, and every night that I did that sketch, every single time I did it was the most fun I ever had in show business. Hi, Bob. Any plans for another Mr. Show reunion? Well, I don't know if it's a Mr. Show reunion, but David Cross and I climbed Machu Picchu together, and we documented it. And there's more to it than that. We're cutting that movie right now. Hey, how about we check Quora? I never heard of it. Why does Bob Odenkirk always wear a suit? What? I don't always wear a suit. Many of my characters are lawyers and agents and flim-flam men, and they wear suits. I think I look decent in a suit, but in real life, I don't wear suits. I do have 2 suits now. I didn't have any suits for quite a while, but I have 2 suits now. But when am I going to wear them? Not for GQ, obviously. Does Bob Odenkirk know martial arts? No. I know film acting fights. Moves. I know screen film fight moves, which is built out of martial arts, but isn't martial arts at all. I am not a real fighter. I am a fake fighter. Did Bob Odenkirk write for The Simpsons? I did not write for The Simpsons. I was almost a writer at The Simpsons. I had written at Saturday Night Live for 3 years. Then I wrote on a show called Get a Life. And Sam Simon, one of the original writers, and Heidi Perlman, I went in for an interview and they liked me and offered me the chance to write there, and I passed on it because I wanted to act more. And I knew that The Simpsons was a lot of work. Oh my God, is that still a thing? Really? I left that like 2 years ago. Evan Yu says, who would win, Mansell versus Wick? Oh, definitely John Wick. Hutch wouldn't quit until he was completely dead, but John Wick would win. Can we do What Happens When Saul Comes Out of Jail? If I'm right and he gets a break for good behavior, he's still gonna be like 87 when he gets out of prison. And I'll do that show. If we do it the same way as we did Better Call Saul, I'll need to be 105 to play 87. I'll forever be torn between this finale and Bob Odenkirk and Curb Your Enthusiasm as a former porn actor describing having a crew member shoving a Tabasco-covered finger in his ass. Iconic work either way. Is there nothing he can't do? I can't sing. But I'm gonna try to. Watch out. Caesar says, why is Bob Odenkirk's The Room remake supposed to have been released in June and there's still 0 news about it? Hey, I agree, Caesar. I wanna see it. There's like a clip of one scene, and it made me really happy. So I just want to tell everybody what I did. For charity, we reenacted not all of it, but most of the movie The Room. I had a great time, and my goal was to try to make the lines work as written, really try to make them have an emotional through line and ground them. It was a real challenge, and I know I failed, but I also know I succeeded here and there, which is wild. I would love to see it. I think there's legal ramifications. You'd have to ask the filmmaker. Odenkirk auditioned for the role of Michael Scott before it went to Carell. He later appeared in season 9. Odenkirk went on to play Jimmy McGill, Saul Goodman. They both have best, second best, insert job mugs. Is that connection on purpose? No, it's not on purpose. It's just a thing that people do when they work anywhere. They eventually get a mug, a personalized novelty mug. Don't you have one yet? YouTube asks, I just think this character had to be such a nice change of pace for him because he's a sweetie pie. Bill Oswalt, the deputy I played on Fargo, was naive and innocent in a way. And he's trying to protect his innocence, which is weird because when you meet him, you think he's an asshole. He was nice to play, a great character to play, and a great thing to look for when you're an actor, a part with that self-awareness that real people have, even if they're awful people, that every once in a while they look in the mirror and go, I think I might be an awful person. And then here's me in Arrested Development with my friend David Cross playing a therapist. Everyone forgets how Bob helped produce the greatest sitcom of all time, Arrested Development. I did not produce that show. I was a guest actor on it. But thank you for thinking I did. And it is, if not one of the greatest. I actually hesitate to call it a sitcom because it feels so expansive compared to a sitcom. But man, it was great to be included in that show. Manson Lassie from the Ben Stiller Show. And one of the other sketches, I wrote the sketch exactly the way we do it. The story goes, they knew they were getting canceled, not true, so they blew the entire budget getting the production values just right for this sketch. No, we got the production values right for this sketch as we did in many sketches on the Ben Stiller Show, because Ben is a real filmmaker who loves film, studied film, cares about lenses and lighting and DPs and all that shit. And that's why this is such a good-looking sketch. And so are many of the pieces on The Ben Stiller Show. Oh, the audition from Mr. Show. This is such a technical sketch, especially the confused look of Bob Odenkirk. I play a casting director, and David Cross is doing an audition, and this piece was written by the man sitting next to me, Dino Stamatopoulos. It was on a show called Community, and Dino wrote this sketch, the audition. I wish I could say I wrote it, because it's maybe the best pure sketch ever on Mr. Show. Instagram says, the carnival worker getting his butt beat is what stirred a hornet's nest. Can't wait to watch the fights and see how Hutch makes it out of this one. In the trailer, he's talking about the carnival worker who kind of thoughtlessly slaps my daughter character on the back of the head. The key to that, to me, was that guy's slap is like, just, even the guy who did it was like, why did I do that? What an asshole move. I shouldn't have done that. But it's like a minor thing, but it's horrible. It's horrible. But it's also nothing. It's like, let it go, walk away. But Hutch can't do that. Nobody too, someone said, it's like John Wick and National Lampoon had a baby. It's glorious. Yeah, sure, I guess so. I feel like the DNA of Nobody is closer to Death Wish and a Jackie Chan film mixed. And yes, the National Lampoon Vacation reference is a great one. I wanted the second film to be about a vacation, a family vacation. It is very much tied to National Lampoon, which the comedy of those vacation films was based on family vacations and all the frustrations that are a part of this thing where all you're trying to do is have a good time. Wikipedia. He said his strongest comedic influence was Monty Python's Flying Circus, primarily due to its combination of cerebral humor and verbal slapstick. That's definitely, utterly true. Unlike a lot of people in comedy, I didn't get into comedy because of stand-up comedy. I got in because of sketch comedy, which I very much loved, and Monty Python was my favorite. And it was the combination of cerebral humor and I wouldn't say verbal slapstick. I don't really know what that is. I would just say silliness. I think I like Eric Idle's writing the best. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink is brilliant. But I also love things like Deja Vu, the Olympic hide and seek competition. I kind of liked it all. You know, as a writer, the hardest thing to write is the stuff that Eric wrote. Clean, tight sketches that could be vaudevillian, really. All right, guys, thank you very much. I am going to sign off the internet right now. Just kidding. I'm gonna watch the Cubs game.